Hey guys, it's Study and welcome back to Comic Space, and today we have quite a major update, I will say, as we have the official working title for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, which again it might not seem too much to go on about, but I think it just further proves the theory that we all have been speculating for quite some time now, and how Marvel Studios was going to connect all of the stories that has been seeded throughout the multiverse saga back to the void, and how that was going to be working, and especially when it comes to the battle world. So again, as our today's update is coming from comicbookmovie.com, where they have went on to reveal as Marvel Studios have planned the working title for Avengers Doomsday with For All Times. Of course, it is also the same title of Loki Season 1 finale episode 6 For All Times, where we got to meet He Who Remains. And again, we have talked about this at several occasions about Marvel Studios utilizing Void as the battle world moving forward, as Doctor Doom is going to be getting introduced in the Fantastic Four first steps with him, and moving forward he's going to be using the Void as the battle world. With everything going on and Marvel Studios do not have any more projects to work with, as we are about to head straight into Avengers Doomsday. I mean, there's still two more films, technically one, because Thunderbolts is still going to be very much of its own thing and not to do much out with the multiverse stuff. Again, it won't make sense that they are not going to be spending a lot more time on setting them in completely different plane to build up the battle world and to battle world storyline, because again I think the Void have come into play in several of the Marvel Studios projects in the multiverse saga, and I think it is probably going to be pretty much like what Cassandra Nova was trying to do in Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think that is going to be Doom's mindset too, and just salvaging different parts of different universes into the Void and creating the battle world landscape. And I think it will make sense if they are going to be heading into that direction. And I think it is also quite evident that Loki series has been in quite a central part of the whole multiverse saga by this point, and given the finale of the second season and where we left that series off, and we are heading back to that, we are heading back to the Void, we are heading back to the Citadel at the end of the time, and we are heading back to the throne of Loki for sure. When the whole multiverse is going to be collapsing and everything just goes into incomplete chaos, I think that is going to be the thing, right? Everyone is going to be rushing towards to get to that throne, especially Doom. And given the fact that Doctor Doom's throne from the comic Secret War storyline looks exactly like the throne of Loki that he's sitting on in the shape of the Yggdrasil tree. So of course that is going to be where it all's going to be coming to, which again I think more so ever, more than Thanos and more than Kang, with all of the villains that we have seen, the major villains that we have seen throughout the both of these sagas, which again I think at a larger extent Doom is going to be presented as the protagonist for the Doomsday and leading up to Secret Wars, or at least how he will see, because again I think Doom is probably going to be coming out from a mindset that he's trying to save the multiverse, because everything is just going into incomplete chaos with incursions happening all over the place, and he's going to be the guy who's trying to save it by, of course, building the battle world. And again, we have been hearing that Robert Downey Jr. is working closely on the character. He's coming up with the backstory and he's creating this character. And again, I think it is going to be his playground of how he's going to be utilizing Doom. So again, I think it is going to be very much Doomsday in a lot of ways. I think you can take that title, which again, I think with everything going on and with everything collapsing into chaos, it is probably going to come to the throne of Loki and going back to the Void. And again, as only two films are left before we head into Avengers Doomsday, it is getting quite clear of how this landscape is going to be looking like and what heroes are going to be part of it, even though we don't officially know who's going to show up and when. But I think we now have started to get a pretty good idea of how this is going to be working out, or the set pieces that might be involved. I think Alliance is also going to be in quite a major part of the story as well. The He Who Remains was the one who utilized Alliance to end the first multiverse war, and I'm also looking forward to if Marvel Studios is also going to be presenting us what exactly happened with the first multiverse war and what happened with the Kang dynasty and the variant that was banished by the Kang dynasty in QUNTAMMANIA, the He Who Remains, Victor Timely. I think it all have connected if the film was still called Avengers Kang Dynasty. By the way, I still believe the story wise and I think set piece wise, the film probably is going to be very much same. It is just the fact that we don't have Kang, and it is just the fact that Doom is going to be taking over the whole thing, and it is also going to be interesting how they're going to be writing off Kang. And again, I think it will also be a great way to introduce Doctor Doom when he actually decimates the whole Kang dynasty. It is also going to be interesting of how we are going to be heading with Secret Wars, because the slate is quite interesting. Of course, I think all of these projects are going to be taking place in a linear storyline, so the Avengers Doomsday is going to be happening and Spider-Man 4 is going to be happening after that. Which again, it also leads me to believe that Avengers Doomsday might not exactly end with a complete collapse of the multiverse. I think at the end of it, all of our heroes just might be scattered in various situations, in various universes, dimension. We of course have to go back to the post-credit scene of the Marvels, and I think comparatively, Avengers Doomsday is still going to be in much more of a grounded film than what we are going to be getting in Avengers Secret Wars, because then we are just going to be going all out. So of course, we are in the full gear as we are heading towards Doomsday, and it is going to be quite fun with a lot of things happening before we head into it. With the two major theatrical projects remaining, a lot of things happening on Disney Plus. Born Again is still going on. IRONHEART is supposed to be coming out. So yeah, we are pretty jam-packed this year, and next year I think we're all getting up for Doomsday for sure. So I think it is time for me to see you guys off on this one. I'm so glad that you guys got the time to hear me out. Thanks for listening to me. This is your host Ali signing off. See you in the next one.